Sports Chat Place YouTube channel, throughout social media. We're going to get you out of here well before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games. That's what we do here on the drive-thru, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, is deliver live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and sometimes they start earlier, like today. To give us those plays, professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. Let's take a peek at who's on the show here with us for today. All right, we got Rod Zawacki with us, Brad Francis, Wednesdays with Mitch. Dana Lane will sign in bottom of the hour. Wayne Scott and Big Al McMorty. Here's how they'll line up this evening. McMorty goes first here. His game starts in about 7. Mitch, Scott, Francis, Zawacki, Lane, and then I will close this one out. All right, let's waste no time. Let's bring in Big Al McMorty. We'll see if the Reds can hold on to their hopes here. Catch them over at Pick Dogs. Premium Reds and Guardians beginning to hit 10 past the hour here. Bring them in right now. Big Al, what's happening?
Not much. Just finished the football show. Had a great time again with Jay and Mitch. So folks should go over to the Pick Dogs channel and watch that. And let's get into this game. It's going to start in a couple minutes. Andrew Abbott's going to get the ball for Cincinnati tonight. This is going to be his second start versus the Guardians this season. He already defeated Cleveland back on August 16th for his 8th and most recent win. In that game, he threw 5 innings, gave up 2 runs, 6 hits, 5 strikeouts, and no walks. So he pitched very well in that ball game. And he's done very well in his interleague starts in this rookie season of his. He's 3-0 in 4 interleague starts with a 2.57 ERA. I like him as an underdog here, especially because Cleveland's just 23-34 this season, minus 18.6 net games versus lefties. So we'll take Abbott in the underdog role versus Bieber.
All right, we got Big Al McMorty here. Reds here in the underdog role. Of course, Bieber with that elbow injury. I always get nervous when I see them come back from that elbow injury. And it's been kind of a tough road here for the, McKenzie, Bieber injured. And, of course, I think Francona is unofficially retiring. I guess this is it for him, right?
You're going in and out on my audio, so I was having...
Okay. Yeah. No, I was just saying that it looks like it's been a tough year here for the Guardians starting pitching. No Bieber, no McKenzie, and it looks like Francona unofficially looks like it's going to be his retirement at the end of the season.
Oh, that's a shame. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I like him. Oh, well.
That's right.
World keeps spinning.
It sure does. It sure does. And it's just been a tough year for the Guardians, having their 2 big key pieces there in the top of the rotation. Now, Reds here, the dog against the Guardians to start here at 10 after the hour. All right, Big Al, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Pin for tonight's action. Lots of baseball here on the board as in the primetime hour. Also head into a big football weekend, NFL, college football beginning again tomorrow. Great results over the last 30 days. What do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
I've got one baseball play today, goes off in the 7 o'clock range. Then I've got 16 football plays for the upcoming week, 8 college, 8 pro. Probably will have a 17th posted in a little while. So folks want to get on board now. It's always better to get down earlier rather than later. Last week, of course, I had Notre Dame plus 3.5 when it was released early. I had the New Orleans Saints plus 2 over Green Bay. So there's always value when you get the games earlier rather than later. So go to Pick Dogs right now, get on board for the premium plays, and of course you can join for the week or the month or the year and team me up with one of the champion handicappers here at Pick Dogs under the 2-for-1 or 3-for-1 handicapper special.
That's right, multiple cappers now. Get on board with Big Al McMorty. You see the great results from Big Al over the past 30 days, so get on board with that long-term pass, that 1-month pass, all the football here for 30 days. As well as the baseball playoffs will take you through the championship series, maybe get squeezed in a few games from the World Series with that 1-month all sports pass. I know the NBA will be into day 4 of their spots. We'll see if Big Al has early action there, but hockey also will be beginning within this 30-day period. So here we go. All the sports starting to overlap. Perfect time to get these multi-passes here as the NBA and NHL will be beginning within this 30 days. Big Al, is always great having the show.
Thanks,
to that success. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow. Of course, everybody know we can catch that NFL show. It was a long one, but it's well worth the watch.
It was over 2 hours today, chock full of information. We even talked about the NBA, so folks can go listen to it now.
Indeed, go out there, like, subscribe, set notifications, so when these shows drop, you get them live to get the best numbers. All right, Big Al, have a great night. We'll catch up with you tomorrow.
Thanks, Tony. Good luck to you.
You as well. Big Al McMorty here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on here on the show. Let's bring in Mitch. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Prim. Of course, been on the air today with that morning show and, of course, with the NFL show. So we got him here on the drive-thru here on Wednesday. We'll bring him in right now. Mitch, what's happening?
I've been on the air today well over 4 hours. So if you haven't seen me today, well, haven't looked hard enough because it was a full day.
Yeah, we got Mitch here in a frozen state. I don't know what it is, but that's what happens when you broadcast for 4 hours already.
Oh,
but
really?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, we got the sound coming in. But
I wonder what's going on. So, like, Firefox has some kind of weird thing. Let's see. Oh well. I used Firefox and I just noticed like they have some kind of weird settings.
Oh.
All right. Well, it is what it is. Doesn't really matter.
All right, we got
Padres.
Padres.
You guys can hear me.
We can hear you. We got the Giants and Padres going head to head here tonight. Here we see now the line about minus 140 here on both sides, a total of 8.5.
Yeah, the thing is that the Giants are now, I think, all but eliminated from the postseason. The Padres certainly there as well. So neither of these teams have a ton to play for, and the Giants. I think I said they have excuses this morning. Maybe a lot of people in the audience felt they had no excuses, but I think at the same time, I just think that the Giants here at home, closing it out. I just think that the Padres, they haven't been able to do anything consistently all season long except for lose. So I think anytime you can get the home team against the Padres at about even money or better, then I'm just going to jump on them. And it's late in the season, so baseball really, really tough. We know next week when we're on this show, we'll be in day 2 of the wild card race, so of the wild card games. So it should be a little bit more exciting than this.
Yes, indeed. Mitch, we got some image back there from Mitch. Back with Mitch here, liking the Giants.
There we go.
There we go. Mitch is back.
Turn it off. Turn it back on.
There you go. Liking this Giants team. Of course, Manaea on the mound. Little found his form. Took a while, but he finally found his form. Had a pretty good start against the Dodgers.
I like Manaea. He generally finds the plate, and it's just he has good motion on the ball. And it's like when he's always good to give up about 2 runs. So it's like as long as his team backs him a little better than that, then he's going to have a little bit better than that. So I'm gonna back the Giants in this spot. I've taken the Giants a ton this season, so why get off the train now?
Yeah, you have to train. This Padres team has been a major disappointment this year. And, of course, the Giants here, minus 106 here. Any games stand out this week, college football for you, Mitch? Of course, it's obviously a pretty big card, but I know a lot of people liking this. I'm hearing people around some of the other shows I'm listening to liking this Syracuse getting points here. It was 7, now down to 6.5 against Clemson.
Yeah, I think it'll continue to move. I think I like that game, but maybe I'm not as hyped on it as some of the other people are. Clemson seems to be, they look a lot like Miami did when we were in our decline years, coming out of when we were on top, and all of a sudden we were beatable. So we had beaten up on some teams, and they finally got chances to take some pot shots at us. But Clemson lost to Florida State, and they lost to Duke in a game that really could have gone either way. So I'm less than convinced on that one so far, but I think for me, it's like, I think the Duke Notre Dame game is a prime opportunity to make some money. I like Notre Dame in that one. No stranger to these big primetime games coming off the loss to Ohio State. And I just think the line to me looks a little bit optimistic on the Duke side. I think either Duke wins it outright or Notre Dame pounds them. So I like that one. I also like, I'm looking at USC, Colorado. I think Colorado, this might be the week to jump on board.
Yeah, that USC defense a concern indeed.
Civ.
Yeah,
I've been arguing with Jay Briggs, all morning about this. He's been on the Colorado hype train, and I've been on the other side of the Colorado hype train all the way. I got burned last week laying the 41 alternate line on Oregon in that game. They had it. They were up 42, but I did cover the minus 27 at halftime. But I had tossed the minus 34.5, which would have also covered at plus 1180. So, we still did okay overall in the game. I only hit though on one of the bigger of my bigger bets on it, and I thought 41 was a little greedy, but I think Oregon at Outson is a lot different animal than USC Lincoln Riley defense on the road. Which I mean that totals at 74. I could easily see 100.
Body clock time 9 a.m. for USC because that's a noon Eastern kickoff, so an interesting time frame there. One more for you, Mitch. Kansas, Texas. We saw the dog getting money here. The opener of 18 now. Texas 16 to 16.5 against Kansas.
Kansas has got that good, solid stigma that we like working for them. Only 24th ranked in the nation, despite being undefeated and, playing one of the better schedules of all those teams, ranked, 10 and higher. And here they get a shot at the Horns. In Austin, kind of an odd spot for Texas because, Kansas game, not really one of the hype big games. It's not a basketball game. If it was basketball, it'd probably get a lot more recognition than this one. They've got this Texas State Fair coming up against Oklahoma, so they could be caught looking ahead here. And Steve Sarkisian team staying focused, not really in his wheelhouse. So, we've never seen a Steve Sarkisian team stay focused throughout an entire season. So no reason to believe the wheels don't start falling right off the cart right here.
All right. What do you take from that Kansas effort at Nevada?
I think that Nevada might be a better team than we think. I think that's what I take from that. But I think we look at Kansas coming back home last week and beating BYU pretty good, and against a very, very big physical team like they're going to be playing in Texas.
Yeah, that was indeed a nice win there. All right, Mitch here for the record here on the Giants here, -104. We've seen this line move -105. We have live odds, so the line's been moving here, but about even money here against the Padres. All right, Mitch, for closing, what's going on over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat?
We're doing more videos than ever before. A lot of the guests on today's show, probably for the first time, we always start with the proof of concept, which is basically I do everything, and then we expand once we have certain concepts down. So what we've done is we've expanded, and I believe almost everybody on this show today has a video segment. And of course, Rod not doing his segment, but he's welcome to do them, but he'll be doing NHL, which starts like in a day or two anyway. So, we've got a lot going on. Wayne is doing boxing every week. We've got Dana Lane doing some kind of video.
Public against the public.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to really watch it, but I know the people that are watching it, that the response has been through the roof of the people that are watching it. We've never really had a video where day one it was just viral. It's always a building process. Starts with a few hundred views and it goes from there. And then we can pretty much gauge as to what we need to adjust, or if we need to adjust, or if it just needs time.
Oh, that concept, I love the concept, because basically what it's doing, it's taking the obvious game and the obvious public game and looking at it the other way.
That was the concept that we pitched to Dana. Dana came up with 7 or 8 different concepts that he wanted to do, and that was the one that I thought was in line with the ones that I had written down for him to do. So it was kind of like it crossed over, and Ron Romanelli behind the scenes also helping out in a big way with a lot of these video series, working with a lot of our guys like Brad as well, whose parlay has been absolutely on fire, hitting those three team parlays, which is not that easy to do.
No, it's not.
It's one of those things where it's like if you hit one a week or one every 10 days, basically you've paid for basically you're at least even. But it's like Brad's hitting them at a much higher rate than that. So I think that Brad is obviously very talented in front of the camera and the microphone. So like getting him more exposure, and it'll lead to even more things that he can do with us here at Pick Dogs. And Wayne doing the boxing is just a natural fit. We're good. That's new. So once again, we haven't had him have a premier fight because he only has done one so far. So he hasn't had a chance to do the Spence Crawford fight or something like that. But he's got Canelo against Charlo this week, so I'm going to guess he's going to have something for us as well on that.
Yeah, indeed, a great boxing series. We've gotten some of that taste of that here on the drive-thru on some of the on Thursdays when we have the smaller cars. Excellent. We're looking for that, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and set those notifications. When these videos drop, you get them right away. Get these best numbers. All right, Mitch. Enjoy the rest of the day and night, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Go Heat.
There you go. Go Heat from Mitch. All right.
We dodged a bullet. A bullet.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And, of course, we're about less than a month. The 24th, they tip off. October. It's a Tuesday. The NBA tips off on the 24th of October. It's coming fast.
What are 5 guys that spend half the season on the injured list? The Milwaukee Bucks taking the Heat.
Taking the Heat there. Of course, they got the UCLA draft pick there, too, so we'll see how that all rolls.
We couldn't give him up. That's why we didn't get Lillard. We refused to give him up.
That's right. That's how it rolled. Indeed.
That was the guy they wanted.
Yep, they sure did. All right, Mitch.
You want him, we're not giving him up.
Not giving up at all. That was a good move. I like it. It's going to be looking forward to the NBA. No more. If you're going to sit out, you're going to pay for that. So just, it's going to cost you some money.
As you should. As you should.
Yes. All right. Mitch here on the drive-thru. Hope catch with them next week. Catch them in the mornings, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. All right. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. We were just talking about our man Wayne. So let's bring him in right now. Wayne Scott, catch him over at Pick Dogs. Him catch his boxing series. He's very. You've seen him boxing here on the show. Very passionate about it. Got his own video series now. Wayne, how's it going?
What's going on, Tony T? What's going on, Pick Dog family? I'm feeling like Mitch a little bit, man. Magic was in that trade rumor. I did not want to blow up our team for Dame, man. I like our core, so I feel like we dodged a bullet too.
Yeah, we'll see. And actually, Dane, they asked. Someone brought up a Twitter from 2022. Someone asked him because Dane is very much. He's very much a social guy. Has his own. One of the first to have his own podcast and interacts with fans. Someone asked him if you had to pick a player to go to the playoff with, who would be? He said Giannis. This is back in 2022. So well, I know
it worked, man.
Yeah, I know it worked. I mean, he deserves to be in the right spot now. He gave that franchise enough time. Okay, at some point you gotta. And I think Mike Trout out here is kind of figuring that as well. I think that's sadly to say, right? It happens. These guys, they want to move on. Yeah. If it's not working, you got to move on. But anyway, here we go. Athletics. Kind of a bright future with three of those pitchers there. If you can get them, Waldichuk, Blackburn, Sears, there's something there if they can get some players around them and they spend some money to get some good players around them. But anyway, Twins big favorites here. We see a total 7.5.
Yeah, man, that pitching core isn't bad, but like you said, you definitely got to have the bats, be able to drive in the runs. You can pitch as well as you want, but baseball is about knocking in the runs. So definitely got to keep building, finding those batters to surround them guys. But we're looking at the other side on this one, man. I'm loving the over here. I think we got a lot of value on the over at 7.5 with Pablo Lopez on the mound. Oakland is 5-4 to the over in the last 10, while the Twins are 6-3 to the over in the last 10. Oakland on the road, the over is 41-30, hitting at about 57.8%, and as road dogs, they're 41-28-5, hitting at about 59%. These teams have met up 4 times already this season. The over is 4-0 to the over, and Joey Esther on the mound, his game, he gave up 6 hits, 6 runs, 3 home runs. On the other side, Pablo Lopez has played pretty decent lately, but surprisingly, his numbers are a lot higher at home, and he's played the A's earlier in this season, and he got absolutely crushed versus the A's. 8 hits. It was all the way in July, but still, he's sample size 8 hits, 7 runs, 2 home runs. Twins have been batting good, and as far as their last 10 recently, they had 11 yesterday. They had 9 against the Angels. One outlier game where they gave up an offer, but before that, 8 runs, 5 runs, 7 runs. On the other side of that, the A's are batting good in their last 5, 267. Bullpens have been getting crushed a little bit from both sides. A's giving up 5.2 runs last 5. Twins giving up 3.9 runs, almost 4 runs out of the bullpen. I like the over at the 7.5. I just feel it's a little bit too low for a team that's been going over all 4 matchups that they went against so far.
Yeah, I can't argue that one. Twins Athletics over 7.5. I wouldn't argue if you wanted to take a piece of Oakland as well. It's one thing here with Pablo Lopez is the fact that he's pitched about 190 innings this season. And that's when you start to wonder, how deep will he go into the game, right? Could be hitting the wall. You looked at his past, we looked at his past 2 starts here, 8 earned runs allowed in 11 innings. And you said the A's pounded him on the 15th of July. And, the Twins are heading into the postseason. You got to wonder, maybe they may even limit his inning today because we're looking at the Twins in the postseason.
Quite possibly. Definitely if he starts off rocky. There's just no need to overexpend him. Definitely if he's wearing out right now. As you just said, everything you just said, with him going into the postseason, that's supposed to be your guy right there. So you want to keep him healthy and as fresh as possible. If you want to try to make any kind of run in the postseason, you need Pablo Lopez pitching his best stuff, coming in there fresh.
Yeah, indeed. Definitely need Pablo in there to be fresh. Twins Athletics over total here of 7.5 runs. this one to have a start time here up 7:40 Eastern time. All right, Wayne, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs. For nice action. Look at Wayne in baseball has been on fire here. 1,047 units of profit. Got a few days left in the regular season. Next Tuesday begins the wild card playoffs. Best of three in the home in the the better seed will be hosting those games. Great results in baseball. What do you have going over at Pick Dogs Premium?
I have my best bet out there for you guys. I hit it yesterday. I actually about 4-1 in my last 5. So I've been pretty hot in the baseball, as Tony just mentioned. I also have a 3-pack with my best bet in there. So if you're going to get my 3-pack, you do not have to get my best bet because it's in there. Ready to cook up for football, man. I've been slightly under 500 in college and doing a little worse than that in the NFL. So I'm definitely trying to dig myself out of this hole and get back right. Just seeing this board a lot better. So I'm doing a lot of research to make sure I'm cashing pretty good this week.
Guys, get on board with Wayne Scott over at Pick Dogs Premium. Great results, as you can see, 1,047 units of profit. So get that on board with Wayne. Get one of those long-term passes. Remember, the playoffs are coming. That 1-month pass will take you right into the start of the World Series. Of course, all the football, NHL, because Wayne gets on. He puts some plays on ice here. You get some plays from him as well. And of course, the NBA begins October 24th, so we get about 3 days there of NBA coverage from Wayne. And Wayne had a profitable NBA season last year. Go back and look at the numbers. That's hard to do, man. It's really hard to do. A lot of landmines in that NBA, but Wayne found a way to turn a profit last year in the NBA, as well as that includes the postseason. All right, Wayne, continue that success. We'll catch up with you again on tomorrow's show.
Yes, sir. I'll be here to give out a banger. And like Tony said, got this boxing series. I will be dropping that no later than tomorrow. So you guys will be checking out that Charlo and Canelo. And undercard is a banger. That's what's taking me a little while. I want to mention a couple of the fights on there. So make sure I get all that to y'all guys and get you guys the best bets possible out of the fight card this weekend.
That's right, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, set notifications so when Wayne drops that video series for this week, you get it. Big fight coming up, so you want to get the plays in quickly before these lines move. All right, Wayne, continue that success. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
All right, Tony T, thank you for having me. All right, Pick Dog family, good luck on your best tonight. Catch y'all tomorrow.
You got it. Well, Wayne Scott here on the drive through. Let's continue on, guys. You ever miss a pick on the show? We always recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on. Up next, Brad Francis. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We talked about Brad earlier with his video series, his parlays. He's doing success there. Give out those 3 teamers. We'll get Brad ready to roll here with Brad. Brad, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, Tony? How are we doing today?
Doing great. All right, here we go. A divisional battle between the Cardinals and Brewers here. Brewers favored $1.39 with a total of 8.
Yeah, give me the Brewers on the run line here. I love the odds we could get with this play. The Brewers, they did lose to the Cardinals last night 4-1, but before that game, they beat this Cardinals team 3 times in a row, and they outscored them 21-5 in that 3-game stretch. I do like this pitching matchup for the Brewers. We got Wade Miley on the mound, and in his last 5, he's 4-1 with a 2.0 ERA, so he's been pitching pretty well as of late. Nicholas, he gets to start for the Cards, and he's just been all right this season. I love this bullpen matchup, though. Once the bullpens get activated, the Brewers will have the advantage here as well. So giving the pitching matchup fully to the Brewers. And honestly, man, I've been rocking with the Brewers all season. They're an 88-win team currently. They've been very consistent, been a moneymaker for me. So I'll take the plus odds for them to win by at least 2 in this one against the Cardinals.
Not looking to go against the Cardinals. We do have a pitching change here. Zach Thompson was pushed today. Mikolas went yesterday, so it's not Mikolas on the mound. We got Zach Thompson, the left-hander, going out here, for St. Louis in this spot. And just looking at Thompson, ERA about 4.5. And of course, Miley here in 2 starts against the Brewers this year has allowed just one. I'm sorry. And Miley starts here against the Cardinals, allowed just 1 run over 7 2/3 innings. So he's had some success here against the Cardinals recently.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, Thompson on the mound, I don't make that much of a difference in Mikolas, so still loving the play either way. Like I said, man, I love this Brewers team. They've been a moneymaker for me. Do you think this Brewers team could make any waves in the playoffs in the National League?
That's a good question here, right? How far can they go? We know we got their pitching staff there, right? We got Corbin Burns. These pitchers are healthy going in the postseason? That's always been an issue there with the Brewers, is the fact that they have not been able to keep that pitching staff healthy in the postseason. That too and also the hitting disappears. It's disappeared for them in the postseason. Can they hit the good? We know they have struggles here hitting left-handed pitching as well. So we'll see how it fares out. Although the Braves, Max Fried is a lefty. Other than that, it's a lot of right-handers. Dodgers have Kershaw, and they don't have Reyes anymore. So interesting to see. I know the Phillies have Suarez as a lefty, so not a whole lot of lefties. Maybe they might have shot there. It's, again, the Brewers, the Phillies, everyone's penciling the Dodgers and Phillies. I'm a little nervous about the Dodgers with that pitching staff right now. It's just pretty much pieces right now. I mean, they no Bueller, no May, no Urias. They're missing a lot of no Gonsolin. Those are four starters that were on the starting rotation to start the year are out. All you got left is pretty much Kershaw and the guys from OKC that came up from AAA.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it should be interesting. I mean, with the Brewers, I feel like if they want to win these playoff series, it's gonna have to be like gritty games, like 2-1 games, 3-2 type games, because like you said, sometimes their bats do get cold, and playing teams like the Braves and the Dodgers, your bats can't get colder. You're just gonna get blood out the water. So it should be interesting. I'm pulling for the Brewers in the NL though. That's gonna be my team.
Yeah, we'll see how Burns and Woodruff, and of course they got some pretty good bullpen players there. We'll see how that rolls. And got Brad here on the Brewers run line. They're running half plus 152 against the Cardinals to start tonight at 7:40. All right, Brad, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs for tonight's action. Of course, it's all baseball tonight. Football restarts again tomorrow with college and pros. What do you have going over at the site?
Yeah, I had a 3-pack up there, but I think that one of my games already started, but I still got my best play of the day on there. It's $15 on the site, so great deal. I'm feeling super confident about it, so go check that out. And of course, the long-term stuff is never a bad option as well.
That's right, guys. Get up with Brad Francis over at Pick Dog Premium. Come off a winning day yesterday. Got that $15 premium on the board right now. Also a 3-pack from baseball, so great time to get on board with Brad. As Brad was talking about, get the long-term passes, your 7-day, your 3-day. Of course, the 1-month pass features hockey and NBA because we start NBA here October 24th. Training camp's about to start in the NBA, and of course, we're already playing preseason hockey. So lots of overlap here. Best time to get the long-term pass, get that 1 month, get the hockey and NBA included there as well. All right, Brad, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that success. Of course, we know we can catch your video series over at Pick Dogs with that parlay.
Yes, sir. Yep, every day. Dropping the videos. You catch them before the day before the game starts. So just be sure to check that out on Pick Dogs YouTube.
You guys, Pick Dogs YouTube, check it out. All right, Brad, have a great night. We'll catch up with you again in a couple days.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Have a good night.
You as well. Brad Francis here on the drive-thru. Guys, as always, if you ever miss a pick, we'll recap at the end of this show. Stay tuned for that. All right, we got up next Rod Zawacki. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll get him in here right now. We got some baseball on the board here for Brad. For Rod. We'll get him set to go. We'll get some peripheral in as well. WNBA scheduled for tomorrow. Rod is off tomorrow, so we'll get him on the show. We'll get him with the WNBA as well. Bring him in right now. Rod, what's happening?
Hey, not too much. I think the WNBA is on Friday, if I'm not
mistaken.
Friday?
Is it Friday? Okay, I got Friday. I thought it said 28.
I think they get 2 days off.
Really?
29, I thought.
Was
there some tomorrow?
Let me double check.
I thought it was 29.
Oh, you're right. It is the 29th. My bad. It is 29th. So we'll have WNBA Friday then.
They're taking a couple days rest. Because I thought it was a best of 3 in the WNBA yesterday, and then I realized that it's best of 5 in these semis. They've upped the games. They upped it to the best of 5 in these series. That's why they've taken the 2 days off as they switch cities.
That's right, switching cities. They want to give them a little bit more time here and keep these series rolling. All right, here we go. Baseball. Yankees and Blue Jays. Blue Jays playing for something. Yankees already eliminated, but they got their big guy Cole on the mound. We see the Blue Jays minus 121. Total sits here at 7.
Yeah, Yankees coming in here trying to play spoiler is what they're trying to do, and they're looking like they got some pretty smiles on their face when they won last night's game, and a lot of ass smacking going on. They definitely enjoying this role of trying to play spoilers to the Blue Jays. But we just seen this matchup, Cole versus Barrios on the mound. It finished 5-3 Yankees last week in New York. So we've seen what Cole's been doing, and he's been pitching lights out, 5-0 with a 1.2 ERA over his last 5 starts, and pitching very well. Barrios 2-1 with a 2.75 ERA over his last 3 starts, sub-1 WHIP as well. So 2 great starters going here. Barrios, I think, steps it up and duels with Cole. I kind of like the under early in this one before we see some runs. Kind of like what we did in Game 1 where it finished 2-0, and it was close and tight all the way through this. This feels like a playoff game. I wouldn't mind taking the under, but I like the Blue Jays here to get the win late. just because you look at the Blue Jays bullpen over the last 10, and they have been the better bullpen, 2.55, while the Yankees 2 runs better or worse at 4.55 ERA is that Yankees bullpen. Pitchers duel early. Blue Jays get the must-needed win late in this one. Take the Blue Jays.
All right, there we go here with Rod here. Blue Jays minus 120 here in this one against the New York Yankees. And, of course, Cole, obviously, the numbers look like Cy Young to me, right? 2.75 ERA, whip of 1.01. He pitched last year, he pitched 200 innings. This year, he's pitched 200 innings already. This figures to be his last start of the season. We're here on Wednesday, right? We got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't see him pitching on Sunday. That's usually the final game of the season is usually reserved to some of your, it's a scrub game. Let's just call it what it is, and they're on the road. So I really think this might be his last start. And for someone who's pitched 200 innings, and for somebody who has put up some great numbers, I don't see him going more than 5. If he went more than 5, I'd be very surprised.
His average is 6, but I think you're right. I think he goes 5. I think he gets in, just gets to the work in, does a little bit of work, and gets out. Does he have the great interest to be the big spoiler here for the Blue Jays? I don't know. I think he can get worked. I think the Blue Jays bats must come to life here, and if they make Cole work early, I think that's the deep thing. If the Blue Jays can keep good eye on the ball, not get swinging some lousy pitches like we've seen Vladdy do sometimes this season, where it's like, what are you swinging at, man? You got to work Cole, make him work some pitches, get deep into counts, and make it work a little bit, and then you get him out there in the 4th, 5th inning, and then get to that Yankees bullpen, which is what I think happens here.
Even with a good first 5, I see him go. I see him getting pulled after no more than 5. You're out of the playoffs, 200 innings already. I would be, again, last start of the year, I doubt he goes more than 5 in a spot. I think it's going to be at least 4 bullpen innings for the Yankees today. No matter good or bad outing, no matter what. I think that's what we're looking at, possibly.
I think so. It could be possible for sure that that happens here in this one. Either way, I like the Blue Jays to come out on top.
All right, Rod here on the Blue Jays to get the win. All right, we've got peripherals up there because they finally got the CFL lines up. So we got at Friday action here. Rod, Argos on the road against Blue Bombers here. At 5 Eastern time, earlier start there. We see this line here in this one with the Blue Bombers here laying 7.5, total 48.
Yeah, you got the Winnipeg is the favorite in that one now, right?
Yeah.
That's good reason because the Argonauts will not. It opened at 2.5 for Winnipeg. It jumped all the way to 7.5. Toronto starting quarterback is not going to get the start at this one. You know what? Toronto beat this Winnipeg team. This Winnipeg team, as I've seen many times over and over this season, they lose a game and a team beats them. Whether your QB's in or not, this Winnipeg Blue Bombers team is going to put the pedal to the metal and run over the Argonauts. If you can find an extended run line, lay it. I think I'm going to try to find the minus 13.5. I think they easily win by 2 touchdowns. They will not take the foot off their gas. They will lay it, the boots, to Toronto in this one. Will Winnipeg. I see them pinning up 50 on Toronto in this one and being like, hey, we remember. We're still here. Don't forget us. We've been to the last 2 Grey Cups. You still have to go through us. So I think Winnipeg lays the boots to Toronto in that first game.
All right, 8 Eastern time here on Friday. The late night game on Friday night, 10:30 Eastern, features Saskatchewan on the road against BC. BC 10 now, total 49.
Yeah, and BC at home has been solid, 5-1 at home, 3-2 against that number, so that's a pretty big number. But Saskatchewan 3-6-1 ATS this season. I like the over as the better play. I think both teams can put up some points. You look at Saskatchewan's got to pitch in maybe 20 points. I think BC can get to the 30, and that gets us over the 48.5 where it's sitting at now. Even if it jumps up to 49 in spots I see it, I think we easily get into the 50s. Take the over in that one. Lots of scoring.
Lots of scoring there, says. All right, okay, here we go. The Saturday card here for Eastern time, Montreal and Ottawa. We're seeing this one, a close line here. Montreal laying 1-2 in this one, total 48.
And I'm gonna lay it with Montreal here. Montreal is the better team in this one. You look, Montreal's sporting a 500 record on the season, where Ottawa's 4-10 on the season. And head to head, the Montreal dominance. They won the last game. They won both meetings this season already. The one by 7 points, the other one by 1 point. So there's 2 points. I'm not worried. I think I would lay the Montreal money line. It's not. I'm looking at it minus 135 in places. Lay the money line with Montreal. I think they easily win over Ottawa in this one.
7 Eastern time here to wrap it up here in Canadian football on a Saturday. Calgary to Hamilton. We're seeing Hamilton a point, total 47.5.
And for me in this one, look, 2 really bad teams. Hamilton is the slightly better team, but I'm going to take the dog. Give me Calgary to win it outright. I think they come here on the road. They're 4-3 against the number on the road. I don't think you need that 1.5. I think Calgary wins it outright against Hamilton.
There you go. Rod Zawacki there with his Canadian football here Friday and Saturday. We'll have his WNBA picks for you on Friday when they resume the playoffs. And, of course, Rod, anything going on the ice tonight?
And then we had our little 2-teamer parlay yesterday on the ice, so let's go with another one. We're going to go with the Leafs on the money line and the Oilers on the money line. Or, no, the Ducks on the money line. Leafs and the Ducks on the money line. Parlay those 2 teams up. We got a nice winner. There's a lot of... Don't let a line scare you. You got to dig into these numbers. You look at that Ottawa line, as I see Nicholas Handy in the chat. Well, reason why that the Senators are such a dog, they're not playing anybody. They're playing a bunch of third liners at best. No top 6 players will be in the lineup for Ottawa. They're trying out some AHL players on defense as well, and they're a bunch of third line AHL players for Ottawa. I see a beat down by Montreal. That looks like it's going to be like one of those 6-1, 6-2, 7-1. Montreal's starting their top 6 guys. Their 2 top lines will be going tonight and rolling, so that's why that line is the way it is. There's a few lines like that tonight where you see teams minus 280, minus 290. Those are void. I just stay away from those just because this is what you get. You don't know what you're going to get. You could get one of these AHL guys who can come in hot as snot and score a hat trick trying to make the team. But to try to pick them out, it's just too tough, so it's easier to stay away. Plenty more opportunities this season in the NHL to make some money.
Yeah, more time when you mix the AHLers in there with NHLers, a lot of sloppy play, a lot of missed passes.
Oh, a lot of sloppy play. Oh, yeah.
No chemistry at all.
Especially, you get AHL guys, third-string AHL guys against third-string AHL guys. Oh, my goodness. It's not pretty hockey at all.
Turnovers in the zone. You got to know there's going to be
turnover in the zones. Yeah, but you can find it with these ones like we did last night. These are teams that they're going to start their starting guys. They're at home. Crowd's going to be a little bit. You got to keep that home crowd happy. So a couple home teams here. The home crowd's going to go home happy with those.
Yeah.
Guys.
Who shows up? Who shows up to preseason hockey? The season ticket holders, because they got their
season ticket holders. Yep. A lot of they used to throw them in for free. They used to come in, you buy a season ticket package, and the preseason used to be thrown into your package as a freebie. Here you go.
Yeah. So how big is home ice in Canada for these preseason games?
Massive. It's massive because it's huge. There's more crowd, and they get to it when the actual players are playing. You can feel it. The not as much. It feels like a junior hockey game when I'm in the arena at some of these preseason games when you don't have the big stars going and you got these AHL guys. It feels like we're watching junior hockey is what it feels like. Even the atmosphere is the same. It feels people will be having a conversation. You can hear a hush over the crowd of the conversation while the game's in play. When it's regular season, there's a hush. You don't hear anything but the game in play.
Yes. Yes. That's exactly right. Huge. No doubt. All right. There we go with Rod with his peripherals. Just to let you guys know, the Blue Jays tonight from Rod at minus 120 against the Yankees, 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right, Rod, let's take a look over at Pick Document for tonight's action. Of course, baseball on the board, heading to a big football weekend. See, Rod's been on fire here, 1,304 units of profit the last 30 days. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Play already go off today. I still have my 10-star play of the day. We're 10, 3, and 1 the last 14 days on it, so scoop it up. It's still available tonight, my top play in tonight's MLB action. I have a play in college football on Friday up, and I have my Thursday play for tomorrow in the NFL already. So I'm also looking at one more college play I might be putting in for Thursday or Friday. There's a couple games that I actually like this week. Good Thursday, Friday action. So now's the time to grab long term. As you see, we've been rolling right along the last 30 days. NFL off a 7-0 week, looking to keep that rolling as well. So jump aboard, use the promo code PICK at checkout. And hey, pair me up with Tony. He's been fire as well. So don't forget about Tony in college football. He's been ripping it up. Pair me and Tony up with them for one cap. Let us put some money in your pocket. Jump aboard.
That's right, guys. I'm board with Rod Zwacki over at Pick Dodge Prim. Of course, remember, if you get that 1 month pass, we got the NBA starting the 24th and hockey as well in there. So great. What's the start date with the drop of the puck here to start the season?
Hockey on the 10th, I believe.
10th. Wow, the 10th. Wow.
Yeah. So, like what, 13 days away?
Yeah.
14
So we're
days
getting
away?
we're getting back to the old rotation where hockey begins 2 weeks ahead of the NBA.
2 weeks ahead of the
right?
NBA.
Like before the NHL Stanley Cup Finals finished after the NBA, right?
Always. It still is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the NBA championship goes, and then hockey's still the last one to go, and then we finish off.
We finish off.
at the
So
summer.
the 10th. So the 10th they play for real, guys. So remember that 1 month pass features the NHL in there as well, and there'll be a lot of NHL. These 2 weeks of NHL when you get that 1 month pass. So way to roll. You know who Rod's on, and then of course you get on board there with Rod Zwacki over at Pick Dogs. All right, Rod. As always, great having your show. Continue that great success. Enjoy Thursday, and we'll catch up with you here on Steak Friday.
Yeah, definitely have yourself a good night. Like, subscribe. That way you get notified when all that premium content gets dropped by all the handicappers here at Pig Dogs. So many video segments to try to name everybody that we got going. Just about everybody you see on these shows has a segment going. As Mitch said, hockey's back soon, so watch for some segments for me to come.
Rod Zwacki, get ready on the 10th. On the 9th, it'll be hard working. So that's why you want to make sure you're ready with that.
You got the hockey, and hockey
Yeah.
every day is a grind for the next 10 months. So I'm looking forward to it.
The thing, and of course, he's following the preseason to get familiar and who's hot, who's going to be hot out of the block, who's going to be cold out of the block. We'll be able to tell, right? How many teams. Obviously, we're going to find out the turnover. How many teams are intact? How many teams lost a lot of players? We'll find it out right when we begin, right?
Exactly. You got to, because in the NHL, you want to. For me, it's if you want to bet early season NHL hockey, you have to know the team. I like to bet on the team that's stuck around the longest, like that hasn't made a whole lot of change, right? So they're coming ready in the season. They maybe have added a piece or two to enhance what they have already had. The teams that have made 10 guys changed, and they have a new goalie, they have a new coach, they have a new system going. I'm going to stay away from those teams until they get things going and you can see what they've done and production-wise. NHL, that's the biggest. You want to see the teams that have the most returning production. It's just like college football, I find NHL. The most teams with the most returning production usually do well in the early season in the NHL. Different story after teams start to get rolling and they start to gel together.
That's right.
Just a little bit.
That certainly does. All right, Rod, have a great night. We'll catch up with you again on Steak Friday.
Definitely have yourself a good one. We'll catch you guys all on Friday.
You got it. Rod Zwacki here on the drive-thru. Guys, you ever miss a pick? We always recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Let's go out to Las Vegas, Nevada, Title Town. We'll bring in Dana Lane, catch him over at Pick Dodge Pim. Of course, Vegas tonight's in some preseason action already, and 10th not too far away. Dana, what's happening?
Yeah, so far not so great on the road for the Golden Knights, but they play their first game at home against the Los Angeles Kings tonight. And home ice advantage, you definitely can hear that.
We got a little bit of out in and out there from Dana. You there? Oh, we got you back again, right? There you go.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. Yeah, a little choppy on the audio again.
I'm plugged directly in, so I apologize.
All right, there we go. All right, here we go with Dodgers Rockies tonight. We see the Dodgers big favorites 208, total of 12.5.
Yeah, we'll stay away from the side on this one. Emmett Sheehan against Noah Davis, and I look at these totals on this game, and I know I'm well aware of what both starting pitchers bring to the table as far as ERA is concerned. Past form has not been great for either one. The fact that they're playing at Colorado, but when this got bet from 12 to 12.5, I just absolutely cannot pull the trigger on 12.5. And early on, everybody was on it. I think early on this morning, 89% of the wagering was on the over. Now it's kind of settled down to around the mid-60s. But this is just too big of a number. And I went back and I looked at, aside from the Rockies and the Dodgers playing, what is the record when the numbers are 12.5? And since 2017, the over is only 37-62, which is a 37% win percentage, minus 26.60 units. And so, yeah, these big numbers don't get covered very often. I just think it's way too high. And then when we go into the starting pitchers tonight, I mean, there's not a lot of case to be made for each, that's for sure, based upon their past numbers. But, I've always said that past results are just that. They're not an indication of what the future is going to be. We have seen Sheehan throw in Denver early this year. It was in June. Pretty good effort, 3 earned runs in 5 innings. Recent form has been pretty good. He had a bad game against the Nationals. He was sensational against the Giants and then Seattle, where he pitched in relief. But he's had trouble on the road, so we are going to have to overcome that as well. But I just can't pull the trigger on 12.5, no matter how much Noah Davis has been knocked around this year. I know both of those two games specifically, Arizona was a bad game, Angels was a bad game for him. But I get to the point where I'm like, okay, this looks too easy. And I always run the other way when it looks too easy. When I got 2 guys that give up runs, we got a massive total in play. I'm just going to go under on this because, number one, the Rockies have not shown that they could score any runs for Davis this year. Under 3 runs a game when he gets a start. I just think we saw a 4-1 game in Game 1 the other day of a doubleheader, so we know it can be done. But I'm going to go under the 12.5 in this one.
All right, Dennis says go under the total here, under 12.5 here with this Dodgers and Rockies game with Sheehan here on the hill. Of course, Dodgers getting ready here for the postseason. How do you see the Dodgers heading into the playoffs here with their current pitching rotation the way it is?
Yeah, it's going to be. This has been an incredible baseball season for sure. Even probably 3 weeks ago, I would have said, man, Atlanta for sure. Now we're starting to see some cracks on their starting rotation. We've seen it with the Dodgers, but I think when it's all said and done, I don't see Milwaukee making a lot of noise. I don't see whoever finally gets through the wild card. I don't see them. I mean, when you quickly think about them against the Dodgers or the Braves, I just think the cream is always going to rise to the crop. And Dave Roberts has been through this many years where he's had to kind of juggle the rotation. This is not the first year where he's had to juggle, the top of the rotation, get ready for the postseason. He's done it. He's trying to get the worst thing about having a massive lead in your division. And yeah, I know there's a battle between the Braves and the Dodgers, and really the Orioles get thrown in there too. But really, at this point in time, no matter what the rotation is going to be, it comes down to the Braves have the best offense in Major League Baseball. Dodgers certainly a top 3 offense in baseball. And we kind of put so much emphasis on pitching where, in fact, I just think in the first round or so, we're going to see a massive amount of offense. So I think the focus should be on the offense, and I think they're going to be fine pitching-wise. And I've told you this too before, Tony. These organizations, the better organizations, when they're calling kids up, when they're trying different things, these guys are more seasoned. It's not like the Pirates that are throwing guys in there to see what we got for next year and cross their fingers. I mean, these guys stay down in AAA a little bit longer than they would in other organizations. And when they do come up, that's a positive for the team for sure. So I think in that way, I don't run the other way when I see, talked about this morning on my show. When I see a pitcher getting taken out, like a Miles Michael that starts for St. Louis, I don't run the other way just because Zach Thompson's not pitching for St. Louis. I just think, hey, look, these are, especially when we're talking about a veteran. But I just say, to me, it's Braves and the Dodgers. The cream rises to the top. Even when we talk about the Cubs, Tony, I mean, we said this at the beginning of the year. I thought that the Cubs had a fantastic rotation. We're going to go over that total. I don't think they're good enough to take that next step right now.
Yep, that's how it looks like. All right, we got Dana here on Dodgers Rockies under 12.5. This one here to start here, 8:40 Eastern time. All right, Dana, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge. Dana, been on a tear here over the past 7 days. 656 units of profit. Baseball on the board, heading to a big football weekend beginning tomorrow. What do you have going over at Pick Dodge Premium?
One game left. You know how these early games on Wednesday go. We had 2 games off the board right now. One game left tonight. Los Angeles Angels, Texas Rangers. That's up right now. People sure love themselves some Angels. I don't know what's going on with that, but we got the total on that game up. Of course, college football will be put up tonight. Late tonight, we'll have that up for the early week schedule. And of course, join me every morning for Against the Public, where we dive into the numbers and we show you exactly where the numbers are going and where people might be a little bit misguided with their wagers. And that's always exciting to do too. That's had tremendous success. So make sure you watch that show as well.
That's right, guys. Get over with Dana Lane over at Pick Dog Stream. You see the great results, 656 units of profit, all documented over at Pick Dog Stream. So get on board. He's got plays up there tonight, or the long-term pass that we've talked about. You can try them out for 7 days. You get all the football for this week, NFL, college football, as well as the end of the baseball regular season. You're also going to get some wild card playoff in there because we got the playoffs here on Tuesday and Wednesday. So get some action there with that 7-day pass. Great value. Pick promo code, save that 15% off. You can also add multi-cappers there to that package, saving even more money. All right, Dana, as always, great having you show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you next week. But, of course, your video series has been very successful over on Pick Dogs.
Yeah, so far so good. I said this morning, I said, I appreciate all the nice comments. Make sure they still come when we go 0-5, which will inevitably happen at some point. But good luck to you, too, man. You are crushing it in college football. So that should be noticed. I know you always try to put the spotlight on everybody else when, in fact, you should grab some of it as well. So nice job to you as well, sir.
Appreciate that as well, Dana. All right, you have yourself a great evening, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
You too. Thanks, Tony. Thank you.
You as well. Dana Lane here on the Drive-Thru. Guys, if you miss any picks, we do recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on the Drive-Thru. We're going to have baseball coverage for you here coming up. Of course, then we'll get to the recap. So we got a little bit of time here, so I don't have to rush through this one. And we'll go ahead and get our card up here for you tonight. And it will be here in Major League Baseball. Let me go ahead and get the game set up before I bring in the graphic. And it's going to be here, this one here. So we're set to roll here. Let's put up my game graphic. All right, Rangers and the Angels. Looks like I'm going to be butting heads with Dana Lane here because he wasn't understood why he didn't like the Angels. But I'm going to tell you what. I kind of favored the Angels side yesterday, and I know some people were commenting about how you got to like the Rangers because they got something to play for. And, the pitching matchup worked out for me in that one. Of course, the Rangers have had issues with their bullpen all season long. So I take that back. They haven't had issues with it. Following the All-Star break, and when I talked this with Rod, following the All-Star break, they went through a 2-week stretch where their bullpen was actually looking good. Hey, this might be a World Series team, but nope, their bullpen resorted back to their old self. So it's hard to count on that bullpen. I know the Angels are going through some issues, no doubt about that. But my good old friend Dane Dunning, he's someone who I have followed for several years. And I know Dane Dunning started in the bullpen this year. There was a reason why, and that's one of the reasons why I'm on the Angels this one. Dunning has had a history of pitching horribly on the road. Horribly. I mean, bad. So he started out of the bullpen. Obviously, the injuries to the Rangers' star pitching forced a move to put Dunning into the starting rotation. He had some pretty good success early on. And that's the reason why he's been able to stick in this rotation. But let's look at Canning. He's on the mound here for the Angels. He's allowed 3 earned runs or fewer in 4 of 5 starts. Now, the Ranger bullpen's been an issue much of the season. But our good friend Dunning, past us, 5 starts, allowed 14 runs in 24 and third innings. But let's look at Dunning here over on the road here. His team record behind Dunning, 1-9 against teams with a 380 to 460 win percentage. That's a minus 10-unit loss. So when he faces bad teams, he's been pretty bad. Team record behind Dunning in road night games as a starter, 3-19, a minus 17-unit loss. So you want to wonder, why did Dunning start in the bullpen after 3 years as a starter? Because he sucks on the road. That's really what it comes down to. And we're going to continue to follow that pattern. And we're going to take the Angels here with they're pitching this Canning. We'll see what he can get done tonight for the Angels. 4.39 ERA on the season. But again, as we mentioned here, allowed 3 earned runs or fewer in 4 of his past 5 starts. And of course, we always have that Rangers bullpen to sweat about it, right? So I would rather be on that Angels side. Remember, yesterday was supposed to be, Rangers game, right? Well, it wasn't. The Angels got the win. So we're going to take the plus here behind that game. So we'll look at the Angels here and that one. All right, guys, check out Pick Dog Stream. Got a play up there on the board right now. Some of my packages went up early, but we do have some late night action here from Major League Baseball, so get on board with that. Also, remember, I've been doing very well in college football. You can get on board with my long-term pass, 3, 7, or 30 sports pass. Get all my pre and plays for that time period select. When you go to my handicapper page, make that purchase. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save that 15% off. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. It is now time for the recap. Mitch, like the Giants, minus 106 against the Padres. Big Al McMorty was on the Reds, plus 107 against the Guardians. Wayne likes Twins Athletics over 7.5. Brad was on the Brewers run line, lay the run and a half, plus 152 against the Cardinals. Rod on the Blue Jays, minus 120 against the Yankees. Dana says Dodgers Rockies to go under 12.5. I'll be on the Angels, plus 144 against the Rangers. The one I like the most here out of these, let's take a look here. Which ones do I like the most here? I will say we'll go with, let's go with Dana's play at the under 12.5. Seems like a lot there. With the Dodgers bullpen has performed well. Can't expect Sheen to go too deep in this one. So we'll go under 12.5 here. Dodgers and the Rockies. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Drive Thru, guys. Make sure you guys tune in again tomorrow live here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring in our cappers here from Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Plays. Go out their plays in real time. Don't forget, it always begins with that morning show here during the week. It's 10:30 a.m. each time. You got Mitch, you got Chris, you got Jay. Lots of video series over here at Pick Dogs. Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. Betting tool shows, roundtable discussion. Of course, Chris with his with his home run prop video, as well as Jay rundown. His NFL live show is up for you guys. Also gives you a rundown of the entire NFL card. Ron Romanelli, college football rundown, Major League Baseball rundown. Playoffs are coming up here. Lots of content. We just talked about Dana going against the public. He's taking games that look obvious, that has a lot of money on them, and making a case for the other side. And usually those are going to win. So that's what, and you learn a lot. You learn a lot from Dana there, because there's hidden reasons why the line, the odds makers are why the sharps are on the other side and the line isn't moving. So if sometimes you see 90% of the money on one side. Well, that 10% could be sharp money, and that's why it's not, the line isn't moving. But find out what the sharps are seeing when Dana gives out his play, and of course, more importantly, that great information. That is very good information from Dana. That is a very good video series. I recommend seeing that, going against the public with Dana Lane. It's getting a lot of views, and it's very much. You can play on the results. There'll be some great days. There'll be some bad days. But at the end of the day, you're getting some very valuable information to help you examine some of these games that, let's say, look too obvious. Sometimes cappers say this looks too obvious, but you got to do the legwork to find out why it's obvious and why you can make a case for the other side. That's usually what's missing. That piece is usually missing, the why, right? That's what you guys are getting with this series, is the why. And I like that, because I like deep dives in these sports. And also to Brad Francis with his parlay video. And of course, Nick Mencken, Nerfies, Yerfies, and a lot more here. But don't forget our boxing video series, that Canelo fight's coming up. We'll have a video drop here from Wayne with that as well. And of course, don't forget that as well. Lots of content here on our channel, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe. I think Taking the Bank as well with Bitler. Make sure you like, subscribe, set notifications so you're live with us when these plays are released. All right, that's going to do it here for the show. Let's go ahead and bring in our crew from tonight. Bring them in right now. Wait, goodbye to you guys. You guys have a great evening. We'll catch up with you.